Welcome to Holistic Horseworks Talks. Join us with founder April Love as we talk about equine care. Learn what you can do to keep your horse happy, healthy, rideable, and sound through their 30s. Have a question you'd like to submit to the podcast? Just email April at holistichorseworks.com for a chance to get it featured on the next episode.
Hi, this is Lillian. I'm here with April Love. I know you work on horses, of course, and people. What about dogs?
Oh, I love working on doggies. I make so many friends on Maui on the beach just saying, "Oh, your dog's hips are out." And they're like, "How can you tell?" Yes, the vet said he has hip dysplasia. He gave me medicine, or he has an ACL tear. It's really sad that the veterinarians that are examining these dogs aren't even checking the skeletal alignment. So I've seen a pattern. If you see your dogs running, are they running with both their hind legs together? Especially the little dogs might give a little skip. The bigger dogs, like Great Danes and stuff, when the psoas and hips are out, they're dragging their hind toes off. So what I have found as a pattern in a puppy, just like the horse issues usually start before 6 months of age from a tumble in the pasture, puppies with collar training, a bigger dog grabbing them by the neck, running to the end of a leash, putting their head through things and getting stuck. They misalign the atlas and axis, when their body issues don't show up as much as a horse's because they're not forced to be lunged or get in a headset. They're not forced to use a body that is not in alignment. So they get along pretty good until they're older. But what I've noticed is, and you can feel, so if you stand over your dog when it's standing up and his head is straight and you have someone just drop that nose just a little bit, just under the ears, you can find the wings of the atlas bone, the first neck bone. And with the dog's nose kind of looking down at the ground, you can feel that one side is lower. If the left side is lower, the pattern in the body seems to be that it brings the right hip forward. And if the right side is lower, the pattern seems to be it brings the left hip forward. I actually have a PowerPoint pictures x-rays. So if that hip is forward, the spine is a little bit curved. So if you look at your dog, if you sit like on the ground and you look at your dog and you're looking at his back and the back raises, kind of where the ribs are going to the hind end, that whole psoas muscle is already in spasm. And the hips and the hind legs cannot pick up and come through freely. The older dogs can't get up the stairs, can't get on the bed anymore, can't jump up and down. So when the spine is a little bit curved, it pulls that hip socket up, and the top of the hind leg coming through is just kind of grinding away in there. It's not sitting in that socket like it should be. And if you Google hip dysplasia, it just means displaced hips. Yes, the hips are out, just like in people. Okay. And when you have a knee or a hip replacement, it's because you're not loading the joint correctly. So if the right hip is coming forward and it's creating that hip dysplasia, the ACL tear is usually on the left hind leg because it's overstraining. So here on Maui, they take the dogs to the beach. They're running in the sand all day, playing, and all that, stopping and turning is so hard on the hind end. I do have a DVD I sell. I think it's $100 for the program with a little workbook that shows you how to work on dogs. It does help if you already understand my horse program first. So atlas and axis causes the hip misalignment. Another diagnostic tool that I have is, have someone hold the dog. It's standing up, sit down behind it. Make sure you square up both hind legs side by side, whatever's, comfortable for the dog, a couple inches apart. And with both hind feet side by side, go all the way up next to the anus, out an inch or two, depending on the size of the dog, is what I would call your sit bone or your seat bone. If one of those is higher than the other, then you definitely need my program. That's just showing you that the pelvis is out of alignment. So I've helped a lot of dog owners by doing the body work and showing them on Amazon where they can get that ACL brace that the dog has to wear for a while and feed the dog MSM and do red light therapy, and we can bring the body back. But again, the earlier we work on the dogs, the better, because this is already in their body by 6 months to a year of age, from puppy play, leash training, another dog grabbing it by the neck, putting its head through something, getting stuck. You know, you never know what happens to your dog, but you know, that best thing is check the atlas, you know, is one side lower with the head bent down, and square up the hind legs is one higher. Then you can fix your dog yourself with my $100 Canine Musculoskeletal Unwinding program. Most of the dogs, it's a one-time fix, unless they're really hardworking. Like I work on a lot of the agility dogs, you know, that are running all the courses and the sheep and everything, or something that tries to jump off the bed and tumbled, you know, then I might need to work on the dog again. But unlike horses that have, you know, a stall and, you know, a rider that's, you know, heavier on one stirrup, or, you know, the saddle's not fitting and the bridle's not fitting, we create, by riding them, issues, and the horse's first rib comes out in a pasture, or pulling a front shoe with a hind. You know, we create, and the environment creates the horses needing repetitive body work. But it's nice with the dogs that, you know, it's usually a one-time fix. I have people that have me check their dogs, you know, more often, because I have Healy microcurrent if we're working on tumors or detoxing the dog, or allergies or autoimmune issues. We go back to the same program that I use with horses. We start with the natural cellular defense detox on Amazon at like 5 drops in their mouth 3 times a day. We work on gum teeth health issues, because when they have a lot of gum infections in their back teeth, that infection will always be draining down into their body. It can create hearing loss in dogs when you have deep infections up there. There's just so many things going on, and you know, the dogs sleep in our bed. They're our best buddies. And yes, this program works on anything on 4 legs that is standing down, not being ridden. So it works on cows, sheep, goats. I've worked on cats. I was visiting my instructor in Switzerland, and we're sitting at this dining table just talking, no food, and this cat jumps up right in front of me, and she's like, "Oh, that's strange. That's a cat that always hides when strangers are in the house." I said, "Yeah, I know. He just wants me to do something in his neck and fix his hips." And I did. And then the cat jumped and laughed, and she was just laughing. I said, "Yeah, cats are really, you know, smart." And with all my program, we do bladder meridian sweeps. And that's part of what keeps cats so healthy. They butt to your head with their hand, and you run it down the back to the tail. That's how the cats like to be petted. And that is most of the bladder meridian. Bladder 1 starts under the eye, goes all the way down. On the horses, we go all the way down the hind leg. So I show how to do bladder meridian sweeps on dogs to tonify all their organs, help them detox, help with any pain. Um, we talk about the detox drops. We talk about healing microcurrent on dogs for joint pain, mobility, boosting immune system. So there's so much information in. It's just a little addition to my horse home study program that you can get for $100. It's all soft touch moves, but I've worked on dogs after other chiropractors have worked on dogs, and people chiropractors can lose their license if they touch a dog. So it's always hush hush. And I still find that they've missed things. Once in a while, you'll find first rib misalignment in a dog. They can't run on that, you know, side canter lead, so they just do the other one. And so I show how to do that passively as well. And the dog in the video that I worked on was so shy. She was a rescue. She was real nervous when we started. And then when she's all done, she was always a hyper dog. She just went and laid down and took a nap. And the owner's like, "Oh my God, I've never seen her do that." I said, "Yeah, she's just processing all the changes." And later we went out to film the cover shot, and you could tell the dog was smiling. She just came right over. She's like, "Oh my God, I feel so good in my body." And that picture was a smile. And we were just so amazed. The owner was amazed. And I usually charge I don't know, $50 for a small dog that I put on the table, and maybe 110 for like a Great Dane. Might take me an hour, but people are forever grateful, and it's so much cheaper than the vet. And usually most horse people have dogs, you know. So if you're a horse bodywork professional, you can be making other money easier also working on their dogs too. So that is on my website, holistichorseworks.com. You can email me or call me if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Holistic Horseworks Talks with April Love. Remember to check the show notes for links to all the resources mentioned in this episode. Have a question you'd like to submit to the podcast? Email April at holistichorseworks.com for a chance to get it featured on the next episode. Loved this information? Share it with your horse friends. They'll find it helpful too. To learn more, visit holistichorseworks.com. And before you go, make sure you have a copy of our free ebook, Horse 101, Everything You Wish You Had Known Before You Got Your First Horse, at horseacademy101.com.